I also want to recognize, Mr. Speaker, a very important industry in my region, and it's a great honor and tremendous for me to be able to represent a place called Revere Copper Company in Rome, New York. And yes, Revere was actually founded by none other than the great Paul Revere of our great history in this country. This country was North America's first copper rolling mill, and it was founded again by our great patriot, Paul Revere, in Rome, New York. It still resides in Rome, New York, over 200 years later. Small businesses like this are the backbone of employment in New York's 22nd District, accounting for 98% of jobs created in our private sector. While everyone thinks all the jobs are created by big companies, in fact, our small business community has 98% of those jobs created. In Congress, we need to make sure that we keep empowering our small businesses, creating a fair tax and regulatory environment that allows them to grow, to hire more workers, and to reinvest in our communities. Too many of our local businesses are held back by skyrocketing health care costs, cut into their bottom line, and a regulatory code that requires a team of lawyers to decode just to comply with this endless amounts of bureaucracy. Something that I've experienced personally as the owner of a small manufacturing business in upstate New York. The time for debate, a lot of platitudes needs to end when it comes to our small business community, and our employees need solutions. We must work to make the middle class and small business tax cuts permanent. I'm very proud to be a person who voted for this Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which tremendously helped our community. We've seen unprecedented amount of gains in our economy locally, a glimmer of hope in an area where we have seen very little progress over the several decades because of some of the policies that have been enacted that really have hurt our small business community and have caused New York to have the highest outmigration of people in the entire nation. Over 1 million New Yorkers have left New York State because of these policies just since 2010. We must fight to continue to contain health care costs, to provide for health care, a public health care system, but also an affordable care system for people who are just simply not able to see their doctors. We must stand for a country that represents everyone and not just the powerful. That's something I've done as a corruption fighter, as a person who stood up to the leaders in both parties, to the most powerful and the wealthiest people in my community. I've stood up to them and fought for the middle class and fought for the average worker, people across my nation. To our small businesses, I just want to say thank you so much for all you do every day. As a small business owner, I know how difficult the fight is, how difficult the struggle is. You are the American dream in our communities, and you provide the hope for our future, and you provide the most jobs that we're going to see as we grow into the coming years, and hope that we can keep our economy moving. And so to my small business community, I just want to say thank you so much for all that you've done in adding jobs, in providing responsible employment for our communities, for individuals, for giving hope, for giving people first starts, for everything you've done in our community. It's been an amazing opportunity for me to represent a community that really cares. My community is well known for its generosity. I find that our small business community, much like the business I own, we do so much for our communities that doesn't get recognized. We don't have big profits, or many of us operate at less than profit. But what we do is we give dearly to our communities. We provide for the Little League teams, for the people who are struggling from diseases that cannot be cured. We provide in greater numbers, and while yet, big companies can provide a large check, our small business community does what it can on a scale that is much greater by proportion. So I'm really grateful to all the people I've served in my community who do so much to help all of us. And I just wanted to make sure that our small business community is recognized. Often in government, we hear an awful lot about the big businesses, but it's really the small businesses that are the backbone of our community. They're the heart of entrepreneurship. And I just want to say, as a small business community, I am deeply grateful, a small business owner, I am deeply grateful to all the work that you do, the late nights, the hard work of your employees, to put out a beautiful product or something that you are helping your local and fellow citizen, even across the country. I'm just really grateful.